relatively successful, but they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, their home life is a train wreck. So success is different for everybody. We're going to talk about balance too to head you in the right direction. But I want you to start with deciding where you want to be. And that's the first thing to stimulate your mind. If you don't decide where you're going, how are you going to end up there? And if you don't decide what you want, you're going to get what's left over. So we've got to decide where do we see ourselves in 5 years? What do we want in 10 years? What are we looking at in 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Where do we see ourselves, and start dreaming and start having fun with the process? But I want to tell you this too. It is actually supported by research that this stuff works. That having a written set of goals actually improves your ability to obtain those goals. There's many of these studies that were done. This is one that I really like. There's a Harvard study. This is the Yale study. And it was shown that 3% of those who had actually had written their goals down obtained 97% of the wealth. So this is a huge part, a huge piece of the puzzle. We've got to start writing our goals down and taking them from our mind to a piece of paper. This stuff works. So here's the purpose of this. We're going to go through this information to teach you how to focus on the things that are most important to you. I mean, I think one thing we're all the same in, at least, is that we're looking to improve the community, to set forth and pave our own path along the way. And being women, we're probably all a little bit, our shoes are on the important list as well. I wanted to show you something. I was getting ready this morning. How many people have kids in here? So I have 4.5-year-old twins, and I was getting ready, and this, obviously it's innate in us to love shoes, isn't it? My 4.5-year-old Ava comes in and she says, I want to pick out your shoes for you. I said, sure, that'd be great. So I'm going to show you what I left the house in, and I'm wearing much more conservative shoes now. But this is what my 4.5-year-old chose for me to walk out of the house in. I'm like, so I snuck in other shoes because I can't handle it. And when I parked 2 miles away, I was glad that I had another pair with me. So anybody ever heard my shoe philosophy that's heard me speak before? Do you remember my shoe philosophy? Have you heard it? No. Anyway, here's how it goes. 90% of the time, you've got to wear shoes that get your feet flat on the floor. 10% of the time, you wear shoes that are good for your soul, literally and figuratively. So we're going to go through 9 steps to enhance and fulfill your life. It's about you and everyone around you, and we're going to talk about reducing stress and increasing your energy. Anybody here have stress? Yeah. If you say no, you lie about other things too. It's not that we can change what's happening around us, but we can change the way we define it. That's where the power comes in. So everybody's got in front of, or you should have in front of you, a magazine. You should have a couple of sheets of paper. You should have a worksheet or a survey that looks like this. Here's what I want you to do for me. I want you to fill this survey out top to bottom. I'll walk you through them. And here's what I'm going to do with the information. I like seeing what people are experiencing. I'm doing a survey for me, for my other talks, so that I know what are people going through, what are their needs, what are their wants. If you are interested, every single month we send out a newsletter that's free.